In this video, we're going to discuss stealth. So there's actually two different ways that one can deploy stealth in their game. There's the stealth shield behavior, and then there's the stealth zone behavior. And these are two distinct behaviors. I'll show each one individually and how they work. But for now, let's just walk through the demonstration here. I'm on a secure facility. I'm sneaking in. There are guards. I got to be careful. See, there's one over there. If I'm not careful, he'll see me. So right now I'm not stealth. And my objective is to get to that radio tower there in the distance. So I'm just going to sneak on by. There's another guard right over here. So I'm just going to pick up this device, which enables me to stealth when I activate it. Now I want to stay behind the guard so he doesn't hear me. And I'll just sneak up behind him. I don't have a weapon. If they see me, they will shoot. So I got to be really careful. But as soon as he gets past a certain point, I'll be able to activate this shield. Okay, right about here, I'm just going to activate it. Now, I don't have to stand still, but I'm going to show that he's just going to walk right by me. Doesn't see me. The other guard that's walking back and forth, she won't see me either. And I only have about 5 seconds left on my shield, so I'm going to get behind this so she doesn't see me when it goes off. She can't see through the wall, so I'm just going to be really careful now. So she's going to patrol back up in a second. Where'd she go? So I'll make sure I get a beat on her so I don't lose her and get caught. There she is. Okay, great. So as she's walking back, I'm going to walk into the stealth zone. Now I'm in a zone, which is more like an area of effect. And you can see the little icon shows up at the top right there. And because I'm in the zone, she ordinarily would see me here, but of course she's oblivious because I'm in the zone. And now I can just sneak on by and make my way to the radio tower for my final objective. Okay, so let's take a look and see how those are set up. All right, so the first thing we'll look at is the stealth shield, which can be applied to really any object. You're just going to be picking that object up. I just selected this, what was called a GPS device. And see here. Well, just real quick, physics on, is mobile, yes, just so it doesn't go anywhere when you move into it. And then we have the stealth shield behavior. We have two different styles. We have pick up and collected. So we could, collect it and put it in our inventory if we have an inventory system. But in this case, if I select pick up, it's just going to pick it up and kind of reserve in memory that I have it. Pickup range, as usual, is just how close do I need to be to that object to interact with it. When I'm close enough, I see the E to pick up prompt text here, and then the use text, which was at the very bottom of the screen, plus to turn it on, minus to turn it off. When you turn it on, this is what displays. When you turn it off, this is what displays. The mode, you have timed and random, which they're both timed, but the difference is whether or not you are going to determine how long the duration of it is and whether it's going to be a random duration. So you could have a stealth game where there's a number of these devices laying around and you really don't know what you're going to pick up. You could get anything between 20 seconds and 60 seconds, who knows? So that might actually be kind of a fun little dynamic to work with. But if you choose timed, then you get to select the duration in seconds. You have the discovery range. Now remember, these units here are, these numbers are in units, and units are the measurement within GameGuru Max, and it's a little difficult to kind of get your mind wrapped around this at first, but bear in mind that from floor to ceiling typically is about 100 units. And so another way of looking at it is the distance from shoulder to shoulder is probably something like 30 units. So hopefully that gives you an idea. He'd have to be pretty close in order for him to see me at 50 units discovery range. Then you have the shield radius. Now, I've got it set to 3,000 just to make sure that nothing went off. But what this means is think of these two numbers more like a min max, right? So the minimum distance that they need to be in is 50 units. They have to be right up on me in order to see me, otherwise I'm stealth. But you could set the shield radius such that maybe they're far away and they see you for some reason. Maybe they're up in a gantry, or somewhere that they have line of sight, but they're not on the same level. I don't know. I mean, that's just a nice feature to be able to customize the range to your liking. And then we have the number of uses. This right now, just kind of, you can just slide it between 1, 2, and 3. 3 is the max. If you need more than 3, just place another unit somewhere and they can pick that up instead. Okay. We have the icon image file. That's just the default image that it comes with. You can use whichever you like. And where that image is positioned, the X and the Y position, you can select that to move it around on the screen and have it appear where you'd like it to be. So that's the stealth shield behavior. Now we also had the stealth zone, which is way over here. Okay. And this one's a little simpler, but it works pretty much the same way. When you walk into the zone, you have some text that shows up in the stealth zone just to let you know, and you have the icon that shows up. You have the discovery range. By default, it was 80. I didn't bother with it. I just left it because she wasn't going to get anywhere closer, than that, so it's fine. Same thing with the XY position, just where is it going to show up on the screen. And then the zone height, of course, which is typical of zone behaviors, where you have the distance, how far above the zone is the behavior going to operate in. So in other words, 100 units might be 1 floor. But unless you have a gap or something in the ceiling, I don't see somebody being able to see you from above, because you'd have a floor there, right? It wouldn't be see-through. But you could have like a gap. Maybe it's like this where, maybe on the same level, if we were down here, they couldn't see us, but up from above, maybe somehow they could. I don't know. It's your game. You decide what makes sense and works best. Okay. Now I will give you one word of warning. In this demonstration, I'm using both behaviors simultaneously. I don't know why you would use both simultaneously in ordinary circumstances. Typically you just use one or the other for this sort of mechanic. But if for whatever reason you find yourself in the need to use both, like I did, I would warn you that you should not put them too close together, and allow enough time for the behavior to end before the player enters the next behavior. And here's why I say that. I originally had this zone over here along this walkway, and it was not working. The timer would elapse here, and then I would enter the zone, and then she'd be walking back and forth, and she'd see me and shoot me. And we thought for the longest time that this might be some sort of bug, and Necron was so kind to go back and forth a number of times to try to work it out. But at the end of the day, I think it really just comes down to the two zones were being used too quickly together, and the system just didn't keep up. So I moved it out here, did some more testing, and that seemed to work just fine. So as long as they're far enough apart, you can use them in the same level. Just, make sure they're far enough apart for that to work. Okay. And do thorough testing, of course. But that's it. That's the stealth behaviors, 2 different ways to use that. If you learned anything new, or if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to click the like down below. If you're new here, or if you just haven't subscribed yet, I'd love to have you stick around. Please be sure to click the subscribe button. And if you'd like a notification for whenever I post new videos, just click the bell icon. That'll notify you whenever a new video is ready for you. But that's it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.